Good morning and welcome to All Faiths Sunday service. Today is July 19th. Here you will find a diverse and inclusive community and welcome people with many beliefs. You can bring your whole self to All Faiths, your full identity, your questioning mind, and your expansive heart. And at All Faiths, we have more than one way of experiencing the world and understanding the sacred. No matter who you are, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, and no matter whom you love, you are welcome here. I have a few announcements. You can join our news talk before the service every Sunday at 9 a.m. You can join our Zoom meditation every Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. We have Coffee Talk, where we just gather and connect and share every Thursday at 11 a.m. And we have Coffee Hour every Sunday following the service at 11:30 a.m. So all of those are Zoom meetings, and you will receive a reminder each week when the events are happening and how you can connect. If you're missing the ACMA concert, you can go on their website and view the artists online and the concerts that they're offering. If you do have any other announcements and you would like to share with the congregation, please get them to me before Sunday morning, and I'll be glad to share them. Please join in our opening hymn, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Please join in the words printed. Please join in the words printed in your order of service as I light the chalice. We light this chalice to honor our future, for a fair and kinder world, for a people and planet made whole by the Spirit of life.
Spirit of life, come unto Roads hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
When we gather on Sundays here in our sanctuary, we share our joys and sorrows that we have felt with the congregation. If you have a joy or a sorrow that you would like to share with the congregation during these times, please send me a note and I'll be glad to share it with the congregation. We have a couple of joys and sorrows this morning. First, as a country, we mourn Congressman John Lewis. And Doug Cartwright has had surgery. He is home recuperating. I spoke to him yesterday and he seems to be doing well. So keep Doug and Diane in your thoughts and in your hearts.
Don't you think it's time?
Let us join for a few moments of silence.
When you're down and troubled and you need a helping hand, and nothing is going right, just close your eyes and think of me. Soon I will be there to brighten up even darkest nights. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You've got a friend. If the sky above you should grow dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind should begin to blow, just keep your head together and call my name out loud, and soon you'll hear me knocking on your door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You've got a friend. Well, ain't it good to know that you've got a friend? When people can be so cold, they'll hurt you, yes, and desert you, and take your soul if you let them. But don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You've got a friend. You've got a friend. You've got a friend. You've got a friend. You've got a friend.
May the light of life be kindled again in our hearts as we gather again this morning to celebrate the joy of human community, seeking a wholeness that extends beyond ourselves. It is good to be together.
I'm not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't walk in broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious.
When the
Sharpest words wanna cut me down. Gonna send a flood, gonna drown me out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. Another round of bullets hits my skin. Will fly away, 'cause today I won't let the shame sink in.
We are bursting through the barricades and reaching for the sun. We are warriors, and that's what we become.
Won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us. For
We are glorious.
the sharpest words wanna cut me down. I'm gonna send the flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am one I'm meant to be. This is me.
Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching out to beat our drum. I'm not scared
To
be seen. I make no apologies.
this is me. This is me. When the sharpest words wanna cut down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me.
Look out, 'cause here I come.
And I'm marching on the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me.
Send a flood to drown them out. This is me.
Our reading this morning is Song of the Open Road by Walt Whitman. Afoot and light-hearted I take to the open road, healthy, free, the world before me, and henceforth I ask not good fortune. I myself am good fortune, strong and content. I travel the open road. I inhale great draughts of space. The east and the west are mine, and the north and the south are mine. All seems beautiful to me. I can repeat over to men and women, you have done such good to me. I would do the same to you. Whoever you are, come travel with me. However sweet these laid-up stores, however convenient this dwelling, we cannot remain here. However sheltered this port and however calm these waters, we must not anchor here. Together, the inducement shall be greater. We will sail pathless and wild seas. We will go where the winds blow, waves dash, and the Yankee clipper speeds by under full sail. Forward after the great companions, and to belong to them, they too are on the road. Onward to that which is endless as it was beginningless. To undergo much tramps of days, rests, and nights, to see nothing anywhere but what you may reach it and pass it, to look up or down, no road but it stretches and waits for you, to know the universe itself as a road, as many roads, as roads for traveling souls. And so ends the reading. Please join in hymn number 318, We Would Be One. The words are printed on the bottom of your order of service.
We would be one, as now we join in singing our aim of love to pledge ourselves to that high cause of greater understanding of who we are and what in us is true. We would be one in living for each other to show to all a new community. We would be one in building for tomorrow a nobler world than we have known today. We would be one in searching for that meaning which binds our hearts and points us on our way. As one we pledge ourselves to greater service, with love and justice strive to make us free.
Once upon a time, at a multi-generational event at a Unitarian Universalist congregation, everyone was encouraged to create a heart. And they were given some construction paper and some glue and some markers to design their heart. And a woman named Emily worked diligently to create the most perfect, beautiful heart she could. It even had glitter in the shape of diamonds all around the outside. And as she was helping to clean up, she noticed the heart of one woman who was around the same age as her grandmother, sitting at a nearby table. It was a mishmash mess of odd colors and had pieces which were ripped and torn, glued haphazardly upon it. And parts of it were wrinkled and crinkled, and there was even a little hole in it. Thinking there was something wrong, Emily offered to help the woman fix her heart. But the woman smiled and explained that there was nothing wrong with her heart. It merely revealed all the things which had happened to her in her life. And she said that there were happy times here, and the beautiful colors and the designs represented when she first met her husband, their wedding, the birth of each of their 3 children. And there were other beautiful parts too. And these parts stood for watching her children take their first steps on their own, riding a bike for the first time, and graduating from college. But what about all the rips and wrinkles? Emily asked. Why are they there? These were for the sad times in her life, the woman explained. The time her best friend was stricken with measles, the time someone lied or did something to her to hurt her feelings, and the hole was left when her husband died. In fact, every time a person comes into my life that I care about, the woman explained, they take a piece of my heart with them. And this was distressing to Emily, thinking of the woman having to to give part of her heart away to others. But what happens if you give it all away? Emily asked. You'll be left with nothing. No, I won't, the woman responded with a smile, because you see, they give me a piece of theirs as well. And then Emily looked down at her beautiful, perfect heart with glitter and design she worked so hard to make. Then she looked again at the woman's mishmashed heart with the jagged colors, rips, and wrinkles, and without hesitation, Emily ripped a piece of her perfect heart and handed it to the woman. Thank you, the woman said as she placed it with her mishmashed heart and tore off a piece to hand to Emily. There are several variations in folk literature of this story of the perfect heart, which are all poignant, grasping the truth of the matter. And if it were possible to view our hearts, that metaphorical version of our core, either through a transparent glass pane or in some physical sense outside our bodies, as if we could carry it around in our hands, if human nature holds true, we would very much want it to appear as unblemished as possible. The brokenness we all experience as part of this life on earth, we see as flaw. We see our brokenness as a flaw, imperfection, as a complete reflection of who we are. There is inherent wholeness that exists within each of us beyond and despite our experiences of brokenness. Quaker writer and teacher Parker Palmer refers to this as a hidden wholeness. A hidden wholeness. The World Health Organization defines health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. In the world of psychology and mental health, we are really good at defining what is wrong with us. But what does it look like to be right? Healthy or whole? What does that look like? Would we know it if we saw it? Are there degrees of wholeness? Does wholeness look the same for you as it does for me? And wholeness is a complex issue because it involves all of what makes us human. Mind, body, soul, emotions, and relationships. None of these can be scientifically studied in a vacuum, put under a microscope, or dissected. And our understanding of whole comes from the old Germanic and Norse languages, which give the sense of entire, unhurt, uninjured, safe, healthy, sound, and genuine. Straightforward, undamaged, complete. Our word for health has similar roots, and we Unitarian Universalists understand the urge to restore what once was. And nothing is more human. Who doesn't want to reverse the damage? Who doesn't hold on to the Humpty Dumpty hope that all can be put back together again? But our faith, our Unitarian Universalist faith, teaches us that this is just not how the world works. Transition and change rule the flow of life. There is no going back. The current of time is just too strong. And so the wholeness offered us is not the returning of our lives to the original state, but working with what remains to make something new. Working with what remains to make something new. The shards are not pieces of a puzzle that need to be put back together perfectly, but building blocks waiting to be molded into a yet to be imagined form. To be made whole again is to be reorganized, not restored. Let me tell you an Indian folk tale. It's called The Cracked Pot. And it goes like this. Long ago there lived a man whose job it was to haul water from the stream uphill to his master's house many times each day. And to do this work, the water bearer had 2 large pots that hung from each end of a pole he carried across the back of his neck, balanced over the top of his shoulders. The 2 pots were identical, but only one of them was perfect. The other one had a small crack in it, so with every trip up the hill, the cracked pot lost nearly half of its water, while the perfect pot delivered a full portion. The perfect pot was proud of its accomplishments and loved to brag about them, and he also loved to point out to the cracked pot how flawed it was. That no matter how hard the water bearer worked, the cracked pot not only ever managed to deliver half portion of water to the master's house. And the cracked pot felt ashamed of this imperfection and was miserable that he could accomplish only half of what he had been made to do. And one day the cracked pot spoke to the water bearer when they had stopped by the stream, saying, "I am ashamed of myself and I must apologize for my flaw, for my inability to carry all the water you need me to carry. You work so hard, and I fail to give you the full value for your effort." And the water bearer listened and looked upon the pot with compassion and said, "As we return to the master's house this time, I want you to pay attention to the beautiful flowers growing along the path." And indeed, as they went back up the hill, the cracked pot did take notice of the sun warming the beautiful wildflowers on the side of the path, and felt cheered somewhat. But at the end of the trail, the pot once again felt miserable, and apologized again for having lost half of its water along the way. The water bearer said to the pot, "I'm afraid you do not understand what I am trying to show you. Did you notice that there were flowers only on the side of your path and not on the other pot's side? That's because I planted flower seeds on your side of the path. And every day while we walk back and forth from the stream, you've watered them. I have known about your crack for some time and could have crafted a new pot. But because of your flaw, we have been able to together grow beautiful flowers and with them bless many tables. Without you being just the way you are, where would we have found such beauty?" Another way to put this is to say that there is freedom in the breaking. There is freedom in our brokenness. The cracks make room for creativity, and that's not to minimize the pain, and it's certainly not a way of justifying tragedy as a part of God's plan. Rather, it's a call for us to perceive the broken pieces of our lives as more than just a pile of worthless and ruined rubble. Look closer, says our Unitarian Universalist faith. That ash, if worked with, can give birth to a phoenix. So what piles of rubble in your life need revisiting? What longing for what was needs let go so a new wholeness can emerge? And how might you break open even further? Because that's part of this too, isn't it? Your broken pieces are more than rubble. It is not only counterintuitive thing our faith tells us about wholeness, it also urges us to crack wider. As odd as it sounds, we were meant to be broken open, to be exact. Over and over again, our Unitarian Universalist faith reminds us that protecting our personal wholeness is only half the game. The equally important part of life's journey is about letting in the wholeness of the world. It's about cultivating cracks on purpose. It's about becoming intentionally exposed. And as Leonard Cohen famously put it, cracks are how the life gets in. It's one of the most important but paradoxical spiritual truths there is. Broken people end up bigger people. Broken people end up bigger people. So in the end, maybe that's our most important wholeness question. How are your cracks inviting you to become larger? What cracks do you need to cultivate on purpose? The Reverend Anya Michael writes, "My father is a professor, and I learned from him that you don't really know something until you teach it to another. We don't really know our own wholeness until we see the wholeness of another or work to serve wholeness in our world. Wholeness, a sense of our own fullness, a spiritual realization of our own strength and beauty, is given when we give of ourselves. We heal our own aches by healing the aches in others. We put back the pieces of our own souls by helping others redeem their own wholeness. And we all want to feel whole, and it cannot be attained. Often the harder we try to become whole, the more we experience our brokenness. Wholeness must be realized and therefore received. It is a gift and free of cost to any who would ask. There is so much more that can be said on wholeness, and in another sermon in the fall, I'll be talking about wholeness and our spirituality. But our transformation as becoming more fully who we are rather than becoming something different, that's our transformation. Wholeness is the awareness of the connectedness to life around us, but it's also about finding or restoring connection to who we are most deeply called to be. And it is also authenticity, leading a life where we don't work to hide our broken pieces, our cracks, but unveil and honor them as the work of a life well lived, a life through which we've constructed beauty out of the broken moments. Let us end with the words of Wendell Berry. He writes, "Wholeness does not mean perfection. It means embracing brokenness as an integral part of life. And knowing this," he says, "gives me hope that human wholeness, mine, yours, ours, need not be a utopian dream if we can use devastation as a seedbed for new life. May it be so." If you're not aware, I usually tell a joke before we call for the offering, because I believe laughter makes you more generous. And generous you have been. Thank you for all that you have contributed and offered this congregation as we continue to do our work for the congregation and in the community. If you want to know how to send us your offering, below in the comments will be our address and our website, so you can access ways to contribute. So a young couple invited their old pastor for Sunday dinner, old as in aged. While they were in the kitchen preparing the meal, the minister asked their son what they were having. "Goat," the son said. "Goat," said the pastor. "Are you sure about that?" "Yes," said the boy. "On the drive back from church, I heard my mom say to my dad, 'Remember, we're having the old goat for dinner tonight.'"
She just wants to be beautiful. She goes unnoticed. She knows no limits. She craves attention. She praises an image. She prays to be sculpted by the sculptor. Oh, she don't see the light that's shining deeper than the eyes can find it. Maybe we have made her blind, so she tries to cover it up, her pain, and cut her woes away. 'Cause cover girls don't cry after their face is made. But there's a hope that's waiting for you in the dark. You should know you're beautiful just the way you are. And you don't have to change a thing, the world should change its heart. No scars to you're beautiful, we're stars and we're beautiful. Oh, 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 oh. You don't have to change a thing, the world could change its heart. No scars to you're beautiful, we're stars and we're beautiful. She has dreams to be an envy, so she stars, you know. Cover girls eat nothing, she says. Beauty is pain and there's beauty in everything. What's a little bit of hunger? I can go a little while longer. She fades away. She don't see her perfect. She don't understand she's worth it, or that beauty goes deeper than the surface. Oh, oh, oh. So do all the girls that's hurting. Let me be a mirror, help you see a little bit clearer. The light that shines within. There's a hope that's waiting for you in the dark. You should know that you're beautiful just the way you are. You don't have to change a thing, the world can change its heart. No scars to you're beautiful, we're stars and we're beautiful. Oh, oh, you don't have to change a thing, the world can change its heart. Your scars make you beautiful, we're stars and we're beautiful. There's a hope that's waiting for you in the dark. Stars and we're beautiful, stars so we're beautiful. No better you than the you that you are. No better you than the you that you are. No better life than the life we're living, than the life we're living. No better time for you to shine your star. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. 'Cause there's a hope that's waiting for
As we leave one another, may we heal. As we leave one another, may we heal and be healed. May we face the uncertainties and tragedies of life with hope, with faith, and with courage, knowing that life is good and that we are not alone. Blessed be.
Wherever you go, wherever you may wander in your life, surely you know I'll always want to be there, holding your hand and standing by to catch you if you fall, seeing you through in everything you do. Let me be there in your morning. Let me be there in your night. Let me change whatever's wrong and make it right. Let me take you through that wonderland that only two can share. All I ask you is let me be there. Watching you grow and going through the changes in your life. That's how I know I'll always want to be there. Whenever you feel you need a friend to lean on, here I am. Whenever you call, you know I'll be there. Let me be there in your morning. Let me be there in your night. Let me change whatever's wrong and make it right. Let me take you through that wonderland that only two can share. All I ask you is let me be there. All I ask you is let me be there.
Before we extinguish our chalice, I'd like to thank Al Rod on sound, our director and camera person, Regina Kilmartin, of course Joseph Brower for bringing his music every week, and today's guest performer, Rebecca Peets, for offering us her voice this morning. So please join in the words printed in your order of service as I extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world.